You ever stop and think about why 4G felt like such a huge leap from 3G? I mean, it wasn't just a little bit faster, it was a completely different experience. And that's because it wasn't a simple upgrade, it was a total redesign from the ground up. So today we're going to break down the massive architectural shift that made 4G the foundation for, well, pretty much our entire modern mobile world. Okay, let's get into it.
And boom, right away, you can see the single biggest difference. On the left, you've got 3G. It was built on something called a packet network, which was really just an evolution of older systems. But look at 4G on the right. Its core network is the internet. That's the whole ballgame right there. This wasn't just an update, it was a revolution. For the very first time, the internet was put right at the heart of the mobile system.
So why did they need a whole revolution? I mean, 3G worked, right? It introduced us to mobile data, which was awesome, but its core was still, an adaptation. It was old tech with a new coat of paint. To get to the next level, the kind of speed and reliability we all wanted, engineers had to go back to the drawing board and come up with a totally new philosophy.
And this was it, the all-IP network. The idea is actually kind of brilliant in its simplicity. Instead of having these separate, complicated systems for voice calls and for data, you just build one single network where everything, and I mean everything, is treated as internet data. Your voice call, that video you're streaming, the website you're browsing, it's all just packets of data flowing through one unified core. That is so much more efficient and way simpler and cheaper to run.
All right, so let's dig into how this all-IP thing actually works. This is where you can really see the genius of the 4G design in action.
Okay, now this diagram really shows you what I'm talking about. Look right there in the middle. You have the core IP network. Think of it like a universal hub. It's designed to connect to literally everything. It doesn't care if you're on a 3G signal, a 4G signal, or even your home Wi-Fi. The whole point is to bring all of those different connections together, seamlessly.
And that's because the goal here was way bigger than just making phones faster. It was about creating a truly seamless wireless world. The ambition was to make us a permanent part of the internet, all guided by this one big principle: always be connected. Now, look, a brilliant network design is one thing, but you need some seriously advanced tech out in the real world to make it all work. So let's talk about the key innovations in the antennas themselves that actually brought this whole all-IP vision to life.
So one of the biggest accomplishments of 4G was this thing called MIMO. It stands for Multiple Input, Multiple Output. The best way to think about it is like this. Instead of a single path for data between the tower and your phone, MIMO uses multiple antennas on both ends to create several parallel streams of data. It's literally like turning a single-lane country road into a multi-lane superhighway. You just get so much more data through way more reliably.
And this visual just shows you how slick that technology is. On the left, you've got beam tracking. So instead of just blasting a signal out in every direction, the smart antenna focuses a beam directly at you, and it follows you as you move. Pretty cool, right? Then on the right, you see space division, which shows how it can serve multiple people on the exact same frequency at the same time without them interfering with each other.
So what does all this smart antenna tech actually mean for you? Well, it means a faster, much more stable connection with way less interference. It's the tech that lets you have that seamless handoff between cell towers when you're driving down the highway. In fact, it can even connect your phone to 2 towers at the same time, just to make absolutely sure your connection never drops. And all of that comes together to create what we call seamless roaming. It's basically magic. It's your phone switching from a cell tower to your home Wi-Fi network without your video call ever skipping a beat. It's the technology working so perfectly in the background that you don't even realize it's there.
Okay, so we've talked about the core architecture and the smart antennas that make it all work. Now, let's get to the payoff. We've seen the how, but let's talk about the what. What did this revolutionary new design actually deliver to all of us in the real world?
The numbers here are just mind-blowing. 4G's architecture unlocked potential indoor speeds of up to 1 gigabit per second. Now, to put that into perspective, 3G topped out around 2 megabits per second. This wasn't just a small step up. It was a quantum leap. It completely changed the game. And that incredible speed is what unlocked this whole new world of services that we now just take for granted. HD video streaming on the go, online gaming that's actually responsive, the entire world of smartwatches and wearable tech, none of that stuff would even be possible without the massive bandwidth and low latency that 4G's all-IP architecture gave us.
And this image really just sums it all up perfectly. This was the ultimate achievement of 4G. It created a truly interconnected world. It was never just about making our phones faster, it was about seamlessly tying together our homes, our cars, our offices, and all our personal gadgets into one giant unified network with the internet as its backbone.
So when you look back at it, the big takeaway is this. The 4G revolution wasn't just about making the parts faster. It was driven by a fundamental change in the blueprint, in the architecture itself. It put the internet at the absolute center of mobile communication, and by doing that, it created the connected world we all live in today. Which of course leaves us with one really fascinating question. What will the next great architectural shift unlock?